Hi, I'm Bill Snyder, Sports Information Director at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Welcome to another edition of Bulldog Blitz. Well, this week, the big rivalry week, the 91st battle between Gulf Coast and Pearl River. Head over to Poplarville to take on the arch-rival Wildcats, and it was a survive and advance type of game, to take the words of Coach Campbell and former NC State basketball coach Jim Valvano. The Bulldogs win it 19-17. And survive and advance, grind it out, whatever you want to say. It is a W on the road, a division win. So it's all good as everything comes out in the wash, Coach. Congrats.
Well, thank you, Bill. It's a great win. Anytime you can beat your, it's the biggest game of the year because it was the next game. It was a South Division game, and it was Pearl River, our biggest rival. So, anytime you beat those guys, you're pleased, you take it, and you move on. It was a pretty victory to me. I mean, there were a lot of mistakes and all that, but anytime you play Pearl River, you can throw the records out, you can throw a lot of the statistics and all those things out. You just want to make sure you come out with a W. Over the years we've had great teams that may have come up short. They've had great teams that came up short over here. So anytime you go on the road and can beat and get a win in this rivalry, it's a big deal, and we were glad to do that. Now we're ready to move on to the next one.
Yeah, 7 out of the last 8 against Pearl River, including the last 3-0. In a few minutes, we'll take a look at how the Bulldogs got that victory, the 19-7 win over in Poplarville. We'll check that out coming up right after this. You're watching Bulldog Blitz.
Programs here, they don't just give you the basic knowledge of the program, they teach you how to work with a client and go out in the real world.
All of my instructors have been a great help for me.
One-on-one experience that you need, and just always there to help you out when you need it.
You get that one-on-one interaction with your teacher. The teachers are very welcoming.
I really like the idea of being able to go to a smaller student-to-teacher ratio.
They teach you how to be confident, and that's a very useful skill that you can apply to anything.
So Gulf Coast and Pearl River, a key South Division game on the road in Poplarville, the 91st battle between the Bulldogs and Wildcats. And we get the ball, Coach, and a pretty good start to the game on that first scoring drive. A nice throw over the middle to Ishmael Morrow, who had a nice night catching and running the ball. Then a couple of nice runs, including one by Justin Brister. We saw DeQuill on the speed sweep, and then Antoine Wells-Tweezy finishes off the drive with a touchdown to make it 7-0. The ensuing drive by Pearl River, the defense comes up huge. Maurice Swain with the sack on Sean White, the Pearl River quarterback. Then Tavares Bingham scoops and scores. So it's 13-0 about halfway through the first quarter, and you're thinking, hey, we're in pretty good shape here. Some big plays there. First by the offense to get set up for the touchdown, then the defense coming up big.
Yeah, it was a great way to start. I mean, they got the ball first. We stopped them, made them punt, got it, drove down, was able to get points on the board. Kicked off, was able to get a stop there, and then Maurice Swain made a big play in the middle and got after the quarterback. We got pressure on the quarterback. Tavares did a great job of picking the football up, not falling on it, which a lot of times is a conditioned response. But he picked the ball up and took it in and took it back for the score, and that gave us a 13-0 lead. And we're feeling like we're in pretty good shape. That was the start that we needed, and that's the start that you always want. We need to continue and build on that. We got on a little run, a little mini run, but we needed for that run to grow. But it was a good start.
So then it's 13-0, and then Pearl River responds, and this is where this is me being philosophical, where the rivalry kicks in. We get a missed assignment in the secondary. They hit on a 68-yarder, and all of a sudden it's 13-7. So we've got all the momentum, and then one play turns it around. But I guess that's football, and when we're playing these guys on the road, you see this happen all the time. One play just changes the whole complexion of the game, and that's where we were at that point.
Yeah, until that point, we had scored on every possession that we had. Defense had done a great job of forcing them to punt or scoring a touchdown. And then, like you say, it took one play to to wipe out a lot of that stuff and make it a 13-7, a one-score football game. So, and that's what explosive plays can do for you on one side or the other. You know, we had done a great job of driving the football. Defense had we'd scored on defense, but yet at the end of that, you're up by less than one touchdown. So explosive plays are a very important part. I was really proud of the way that the guys responded after that. You know, we had talked to them all week about this is an emotional game, try to keep your emotions in check. Gulf Coast Pearl River, heated rivalry, everything like that. Biggest game because it's the next game. But the guys did a great job after that. We didn't panic. We know that's part of football. It's all a part of the deal. You know, you go back through the history of this rivalry. You remember the game out here, Bill, with that down to the last play on the half-inch line.
We talked about that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of, you know, this game has gone down the 55-47 game a few years ago. There's been a lot of games so it's a part of the deal.
So at that point, it's 13-7 midway through the second quarter, and, you know, the rivalry's on.
Yeah, you know, they made a big play there, and very pleased with the way that the guys responded after that. We put together a couple of drives after that. We got down to the red zone. We just couldn't finish and get touchdowns out of it, and had to settle for field goal attempts. So, but was very pleased with the way that we responded after that one big play.
Yeah, leading up to that, I think Tristan had missed a field goal, but then, as you said, had a nice drive, a couple of drives, got it down, couldn't punch it in. And by the way, Pearl River has the #2 rushing defense in the state, so I think that factored in as well. Tristan got a field goal before halftime, making it 16-7. All in all, he kicked 2 field goals in the game. And, you know, he missed that one, had to struggle with the extra point, but it seemed like at that point where we kicked it to make it 16-7, it kind of felt like, let's get some points here, and how big that came up later on, and also maybe a confidence builder for him, the young freshman, you know, kind of getting his groove back. Yeah,
it was good to see him drill that field goal, and both field goals, you know, it wound up being the difference in the football game, those points. And you know, Tristan's a great kicker. You know, we've had a lot of Division I kickers, from Sean Broccoli to Stephen Broccoli to Will Scott, who's a Groza Award finalist at Troy. So we've had some great kickers, and I put Tristan right up there with all of them. You know, his first 2 kickoffs were, you know, out of the end zone, and so he's given us great field position. And last night he came up big with his field goals.
Yeah, he did come up big. So it was 16-7 at halftime. The Bulldogs in front. And the third quarter, really, this is where the grind really kicked in. Both offenses, especially Gulf Coast, would have some nice runs. I think we ran that speed sweep, I don't know, 50 times it seems like last night. But it was working for the most part with Ishmael Morrow and DeQuill keeping us going, and then up the middle with Antoine Wells, you know, doing his work. But it was tough going in there, and, you know, it's almost like in these games, you get into that ebb and flow. You talk about going on runs where one team's scoring and then the flow and that kind of thing. And at this point, it really got it turned into a 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of thing. But for the most part, when we get in those battles, we're usually pretty good because we have a great offensive line, good running game, and TR did a great job, you know, keeping everything in check.
Yes, he
protecting
did.
the ball.
He protected the ball. We came out of last night's game with 0 turnovers, and Bill, over the games where we don't turn the football over, we're going to have a great opportunity. We're going to win the football game, statistically what it shows, if we don't turn it over. And we didn't turn it over, and TR did a great job of protecting the ball. You know, Pearl River is they're a blitz. They're a blitz defense. They're big zone blitz, and they bring people from a lot of different directions. So that, you know, that speed sweep balances them up. I mean, you got one back, you have a receiver here. Well, which way? We can run it here or we can run it here. It can protect you from having people coming off the edge to hit you in the backfield, where if you line up in 2 backs, a lot of times they can bring pressure from one side. You line up in a spread set and run speed sweep, it balances them out. So there was, you know, there was some thought that went into that speech. Plus they had a University of Miami defensive tackle. It's a great football player on the inside, another 315, 320-pounder on the inside. So, you know, they're very good. Pearl River's good on the defensive line, and some big, strong, healthy young men there. So was pleased with the way that that the line blocked, the way that the receivers ran and blocked, and Tweezy and Justin had some really good runs. The guys did really well. TR had some great throws, and even picked up a couple of first downs with his feet. So they did a great job of managing the team last night.
Yeah, the Wildcats had one real sustained drive. They got it down. The defense stiffened, and they got a field goal to make it 16-10. So we kept going in the second half, kind of going back and forth between the 20s. And then with about 4 minutes left, we finally got the drive that eventually put the game away with another Tristan Reynolds field goal to make it 19-10. As far as the speed sweep goes, it was working. We ran DeQuill out of that a lot. And then the rivalry part kind of took over with him. He gets kicked out. And then at that point, we're still in good shape. Then with about 1:28, it's not a fluke when you score a touchdown, but it seemed like a fluke. They just threw up a prayer. It got answered to make it more than interesting at the end, making it 19-17. And then we get the onside kick and doesn't go 10 yards, and we secure the victory. So to me, you see that, and it just goes back to what happens. Expect the unexpected when these two teams play. You never know what's going to happen.
No, you don't. I mean, it's like all great rivalries, like Alabama Auburn or Ole Miss State or Ohio State Michigan. There's football bounces funny ways, and
it gets weird.
It gets weird, and they made a play there at the end. We had a couple of guys in position. They made a play to make it close, but they turned what was a 9-point game into a 2-point game, but we were able to get the onside kick and secure it away. So was pleased with that thing. We need to work on our red zone. We got down there 2 to 3 times, actually 3 times. One time we got penalized back out of the red zone and cost ourselves points there, and then twice more we had to settle for 3 when we should have got 7. And I'm not talking about you on the 12-yard line. I'm talking about inside the 3. And we needed to get touchdowns there, and we take a close football game and give it a wider margin. And so there's definitely some things that we need to work on and improve at.
Yeah, so the Bulldogs win at 19-17. As we said, 3rd straight over the Wildcats and 7th out of the last 8 games. And even though, we sit there and talk about, it's not pretty, we didn't run up all the yards. This is 2 weeks in a row where the offense and the defense, it's really, you lose as a team, but you win in a team. Aside from the 2 pass plays, the defense did great, only really gave up a field goal if you take those 2 plays away, just kind of like what happened last week. So, right. And tremendous pressure, I thought, on Sean White and the quarterback, and did a great job corralling their running back, Darryl Robinson. So you throw all that in together, it equals a victory, and these are things to build on as we head into the stretch run.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this was a total team victory. All 3 phases contributed. Tristan had the big kicks, and Kevin did a good job with his punts, and our coverage units did well. The returns, we didn't put the ball on the ground any. And then defense, defense got us a touchdown and played great with the exception of a couple of plays. And offensively, we were able to, I think we had a 16-play drive, and I know we had 2 14-play drives. So we were able to sustain some things, which allowed the defense to get some rest, and turn it into a physical football game. So it was a great team win on all sides, and TR hit some big passes. I tell you what, he does a good job of going to his tight end. Marlon Pope had an outstanding catch there. Justin Brister had a great catch and then broke a tackle. So
that felt like a huge play right there. That was because we were stalled, and then he hits it at midfield and really sets us up in good shape.
Yeah, no doubt. Those were big plays. TR does a great job of going to his second and third options, and Ish had some big runs and catches. Ishmael played really well, and then I was glad to see you got to Marlon is getting better and better. He's a guy that has really improved a lot, and I'm really proud of his development.
it seems like, this year we've gone to the tight end more than any I can remember. We maybe throw it to him 2 or 3 times a year, and we've gone to him more than a handful of times. And you're talking about TR. It goes back to the old adage, on the surface you could call him a game manager, but you say that to Nick Saban, and he says, hey, I'll take that any day of the week. And, same deal here. Right?
Yeah, we've had our best teams when we protect
quote,
quote unquote game manager. I mean, we got one game manager that's playing with the Oakland Raiders right now.
That's
right.
I
mean, Greg Jenkins. Yeah. Greg was a great athlete too, and you don't win state championships without having a great quarterback. And TR's, Greg Jenkins, Clayton Moore, Gennario McNeely, all those guys would go into that, quote, game manager deal. But the deal is you want to win the football game. And A.J. McCarron, the guy who's won more games right now than anybody, is a great game manager. I would say, Tom.
Peyton Manning's a game manager.
Yeah, Peyton Manning and Tom. That's what I would want them to call me.
Right. A
lot of times you talk about the great athlete quarterback. Well, how many championships do they have? I don't.
Right, I know what you're saying, yeah.
But TR's done a great job. Colton's done a great job when he's been in there. So very proud of the way that, TR protected the football and ran his football team.
19-17, the final score. Bulldogs now 5-1 overall and 2-1 in the division as we head down the home stretch of the 2013 campaign. Can't believe we've already finished 6 weeks of football. Well, coming up after the break, we'll have a player profile for you. Heading in, the scores from around the MACJC. 4 games on Thursday night and 3 games coming up this weekend. You're watching Bulldog Blitz here on WLOX.
I've had a great experience here at Gulf Coast, and I'm really glad I made the decision to come here.
Basically, a lot of family members came here, telling me good things about it.
I love it. The clinical experience, everything about it. I loved it. The teachers are great.
I also take a weekend class. You only meet 4 times a week, which is so much better for my schedule.
The classes are smaller, which means the teachers, can help you more easily.
I've gained the confidence that I am ready to go off and do great things.
You're watching Bulldog Blitz, sponsored this season by Raising Cane's, Jack's Home Improvement, The Shed in Gulfport, and the Whistle Stop in Wiggins. Now, back to more Bulldog Blitz. And welcome back to Bulldog Blitz. This week on our player profile segment, we'll head over to the offensive side of the ball and check in with the MACJC's leading rusher, sophomore running back Antoine Wells.
The offseason, I just worked hard, and I just knew I was going to be the guy this year. I just didn't want to be beat by nobody, and I felt like I could get it done for the team. So I wanted to be a guy to step up this year. Coach Campbell, I met with him in the offseason. He told me, you either got to be the Warriors, either going to be you or whoever else. It ain't going to be like we did it last year. And I just know I had to work from there. And if we can't get it through, just run it. And, you give me the ball, I'm going to do what I can do. And, Brister and Rod, McCann, Gift in there, we all ready to run it. Tweezy, I had that, my cousins gave it to me a long time ago. It was probably around 7 or 8, and we all gave each other nicknames, and it followed me to high school. And then I got here, I wasn't expecting it to go this far, but they got it and calling me that ever since.
We too deep, hey, hey, we too deep, hey, hey, we too deep, hey, hey.
So we too deep, we started in the weight room saying it, and then we just started. I don't know, Dakir really started it. I remember him coming in there saying it, and we just took it from there. But we always got somebody to step up. That's why we always say we too deep. It's always somebody else is ready to step up, so we ain't really worried too much. We just work hard and be ready for whatever.
Covered a lot of stuff with Tweezy. We got some insight on his nickname. We also found out the "we too deep" thing. Whatever the case, he has become the main running back for Gulf Coast. And, you know, his numbers weren't out of control last night, but he protected the football and got some big runs when we needed them. And you got to love that when you got a sophomore running back you can count on in a pinch and throughout the game.
Yeah, you know, Antoine's had an outstanding sophomore year so far to date. He's played extremely well. He's ran the ball hard. He's got us some tough yards. He's shown some explosive ability, and you know, he's got a lot of great qualities. He is he's got Division I talent. He's got a Division I work ethic, and he's only going to get better and better and better. He's a great football player. Reminds me a lot of Vic Ballard. I've said this before. Displays a lot of the qualities that Vic had. He's about the same size, got the same, real similar speed-wise, similar strength-wise. You know, and they're both extremely tough. You know, Vic played that sophomore year with both shoulders knocked out, and showed a tremendous amount of toughness. You know, Vic didn't want to miss a rep, and Antoine's got a lot of those same qualities.
Yeah, and last night he got a little shaken up. 2 or 3 plays later, he's back in, going right up the middle.
Yeah, a lot of toughness, and you know that's what it takes at the running back position. You know, Emmitt Smith broke Walter Payton's record, and Walter Payton was known for his work ethic and his toughness. Emmitt Smith was not known for his speed, he was known for his toughness. And you go back to that Giants game when he played with
broken collarbone.
The broken collarbone, but that's why the Cowboys went on and won the Super Bowl. Now, your great backs display a lot of toughness, and Antoine did that last night.
He had a nice game. Justin Brister had some nice runs. Rod Williams came in, did the nice job on the speed sweep. Bulldogs win it. Great job by Tweezy and the Bulldog running game. Well, coming up after this, we'll take a break and look in on our Gulf Coast soccer teams. They're in the home stretch of their season. Heading into the break, this week's NJCAA Top 10 poll, Georgia Military now the #1 team in the nation. You're watching Bulldog Blitz.
Hi, I'm Megan and I'm going into nursing field, and I came to JD because it's very close to my house, and I figured that if I just want to do my basics, I can just go to university later.
Well, first at college, I picked the college that's really close to home. My dad worked at Chevron and he always told me about it, got me really interested.
And it's close enough to home to where I still get a really great college experience, but I still feel like this is my home, like this is a place that I can be comfortable.
Well, we were excited coming into the season. We knew we picked up a good class. We picked up some solid transfers late that helped us a lot, gave us some experience. You know, the 1-0 win over Pearl River, who won it last year, was big for them, you know, and that matchup's coming up soon, so it'll be fun. You know, these guys are probably motivated. They have goals, you know, larger than you know, just winning state. They want to compete at the highest level, so they're super focused. We're really excited where we are with the guys. You know, they've played a tough game, and that was our design to find your weaknesses. You know, it's easy to play games that, you know, that you're going in confident that you're going to win. It's much harder to play games that you don't know the result in. It keeps them focused, it keeps them working, keeps them, you know, motivated to reach their goals. So we're excited for the stretch run, you know, to start conference again and see some teams that we've seen before, and we've picked up some of their weaknesses as well as, you know, strengthened some of ours. So I think it'll be a good next run. I thought the Jones game, which we lost, was a bit unfortunate. You know, we were up very, very early and we looked very good. Then, you know, we had some decisions that didn't go our way and it kind of set us back some, but it was a learning experience for our guys, and they're very motivated for the Hines game. And I think that showed on the field, so I think they looked great. So going into it, we have East Central on Friday, and then we start conference, and I think we'll be happy with what we see on the field from those guys. The girls know exactly what they need to do. You know, we knew the path coming into the season. We knew who we'd be competing with. You know, we understand what exactly it needs to accomplish. So it keeps them focused. You know, they don't get too low. They don't get too high because, you know, there's a goal that's set and we're still trying to reach it. And it's still very, very reachable. So, you know, we go to training every day. They work hard and they're excited to these next couple of games. There's about, 3 key games in there that we must win. If we do that, we're right where we need to be. There's, plenty of work to be done. There's always work to be done. So the sophomore leadership we're relying heavy on, as well as we're relying on some freshmen to step up big and do some things for us. I told them coming into the season in our first meeting that there's not a player on the team that we could live without, and that kind of keeps everybody focused. But in reality, it's the truth. We need every single player to step up. When there's an injury, someone has to fill that spot. So, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure almost every single player on the team has started a game and played major minutes at some point. So, and every player plays every game because we need all of them. So it's, for us to achieve our goals, we need every single player, freshman and sophomore.
And good luck to Chris Handy, Neil Scott, Patrick Harrison, and the men's and women's soccer teams as they head down the home stretch. They're playing well. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs playing well at 5-1. Get to come back home next week and take on Southwest, another big one because it's the next one, and it's a division game. And we're going down the home stretch. So you celebrate this one for a while, enjoy the win over the arch rival, and get back to work.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this game coming up again, biggest game of the year. We need to win it because it's the next game that'll keep us on track for reaching our goals. And Southwest is they always field a very, very tough, competitive football team, and a team that I know that they've got a new coaching staff over there. Coach Tucker Peavy, who was on Southern Miss's staff this past year. Tucker does an outstanding job of coaching. They'll field a very talented, well-coached, hard-playing football team. So we'll definitely have our work cut out for us, but it's a game that we're looking forward to.
And it seems like whenever we play someone, Southwest, East Central, whatever, they could pull this off. This will be their season, so they're going to come in, ready to spoil the party.
Yeah, no doubt. They'll come in ready to play. They'll come in, wanting to get a bite out of Gulf Coast. So, it's one we definitely need to be prepared for. We need to play well. We need to protect Bill, same thing. 0 turnovers, eliminate the explosive plays, and play well in the kicking game. And those are the things that we'll be working on.
I guess it really doesn't matter whether you win a game 55-45 or 2-0. I think you said this earlier in the year. You do all that stuff and score one more point than the other team, you win the game. It's really simple when you wade through everything.
It is. I mean, it can be broken down. You can take it and make a calculus 4 problem out of it, or make a real simple. It's as simple as that: turnovers, kicking game, and explosive plays. And like you say, Bill, it don't matter if the presidential election was close between, but it don't matter. The one guy won. He's the president for 4 years. So football's the same way. You win by 1 point or you win by 83 points. The results are the same. You get 1 W, you get a chance to advance and move on. So that's. We will definitely take this last game and be proud to get it and move forward to the next one.
You really like the way this year it's really been next man up. We've had adversity with injuries. The number of them we haven't had before, I guess, in the last 4 or 5 years, especially to key players. Those guys have been coming back, fighting through that. Offense, feast or famine at times. Defense gives up some big plays to Jones. Now they've tightened up. So all that stuff, and we talked about this earlier, but that comes up huge later on, right? It's that knowing that you can survive this. 10% is what happens. 90% is how you handle it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And this team has handled a lot of adversity really well. And Bill, what we're doing is we're setting. I'm hoping that we're setting ourselves up for something hopefully very special. Now, what we got to do is win the next football game.
So Southwest comes in next Thursday night. You can watch via streaming video and listen on 103.1 Super Talk FM, and video streaming once again all over the region and the nation. Got a text last night during the game from Stephen Broccoli, who's kicking over at Louisiana Lafayette. He was watching over in Acadiana. So you never know who's turning in to watch the Bulldogs play, and you can do that next week as we take on Southwest. Well, we got a government shutdown going on, but the Bulldogs, not so much. We're business as usual here at Gulf Coast with a big win over Pearl River. For head coach Steve Campbell, I'm Bill Snyder. Thanks for watching, as always, here on Bulldog Blitz. Have a great night and a great weekend.